The American dream isn't just harder to reach, it's disappearing.
Bitch, we're gonna work until we die. The American dream is absolutely DEAD, ho.
Well, the American dream is officially dead. According to a new study, it takes a whopping $3.4 million of lifetime earnings to afford the American dream.
I haven't noticed the American dream is pretty much dead in America.
Let's just say the quiet part out loud. I think everybody at this point is just surviving.
I'm gonna just come out and say it, all right, guys? The American dream, or at least the version that we were taught when we were younger, is honestly out of reach. Okay. And for a lot of people, if I'm being completely honest, it's already gone. For decades, like there was a very simple formula to this, right? You put in the time, put in the hours, you work hard, you play by the rules, get a steady job, buy a home, get married, maybe even a couple of kids, right? And you, by doing those things, you instantly build a life that's better than the one your parents had. You know what I mean? I think that was the promise. It wasn't guaranteed, not by any means, but it was definitely possible. But now the promise feels more like a story or a dream that we tell ourselves than something that's grounded in reality. Let's look at housing for a second. Owning a home used to be a milestone of adulthood. Like it was a big accomplishment, you know what I mean? But today it's a luxury more than anything, okay? These prices are through the roof. They have skyrocketed. The wages, are honestly the same, if not worse. And even people that are doing everything right and, living by the book are stuck renting or living paycheck to paycheck, trying to keep up with rising costs. And it's not housing, you know what I'm saying? It's not just housing. Education is more expensive than ever, okay? Healthcare can wipe out years of your savings overnight. Groceries is up, gas is touching $10 a gallon in some states, your childcare, all this stuff adds up, okay, guys? Meanwhile, your salaries don't stretch the way that they used to. You can still be responsible, you know what I mean? You can still be disciplined and even successful on paper. But even through all that, you can still feel like you're falling behind. And I think that's the part that no one really talks about on the internet, is that it's not just about the money. It's about that feeling that just doesn't go away. It's like that feeling of no matter how much you push, how hard you push, how much money you make, the finish line just keeps moving further and further away. So what happened, right? Seriously, what happened? Now, some people blame inflation. Others point to, corporations, stagnant wages, you know what I mean? Or even policy decisions over the decades, right? And honestly, it's not just one thing, right? These are so many things that are now piling up that now it's just too much to handle. It's a system that is gradually tilted inch by inch until the gap between effort and reward became too wide to ignore. Now, here's the uncomfortable truth. Recognizing this doesn't mean that you're giving up, okay? But it does mean that you need to adjust your expectations. The old version of the American dream, guys, was house, stability, upward mobility, and honestly, that is not the default path anymore, okay? That doesn't mean that success is impossible, right? But it does mean that the definition of the American dream has changed. Now, for some of us, the American dream is about flexibility instead of stability. For others, it's about multiple income streams instead of one career. And for a growing number of people, it's about redefining success entirely, prioritizing your time, your freedom, and control over their lives instead of chasing a shrinking ideal. The American dream as we knew it is not what it used to be. We can definitely say that, because waiting for things to just quote unquote go back to normal isn't a strategy that we should be taking into action, honestly. The people who adapt, who rethink how they earn, live, and define success, those are the ones who carve out a new version of the dream. Not the one that we promise, but the one that we create.
Guys, I am genuinely at a point now where I don't know if any of this matters, and I mean any of it. And no, not even taking into account what's going on with the world right now, because that's a whole other thing I don't even want to get into. But for the everyday person, it doesn't matter if you're a good person or if you play your cards the right way or the way you're supposed to do it. It doesn't matter, because you're gonna fail anyways, because that's just the era we live in. If you are not set up for success from birth at this point, you are set up to fail. There's no way around it. You can live your life with morals and ethics. You can do everything in your power to do it the right way, the way people have told you to do it for years, for 21 years. Doesn't matter. It does not matter. None of this matters anymore. And isn't that just so exciting? You could go out and be a piece of shit and it does.
I'm just like so fucking fed up with everything. I don't want to talk to nobody anymore. I don't want to make any new friends. I don't have any anyways. I don't have money to go anywhere. Can't go on vacation. I feel like, I know I'm not the only one mentally just exhausted right now, but I don't know how much more I can take.
There is no fucking American dream.
Because the American dream is dead. The average home in the United States costs $418,000. Do you know anyone making that much money? Do you know anyone? Do you know anyone that started a business that's not drop shipping or like some sort of AI gig economy? Like, do you know anyone that owns a store? Name 2 people. Do you know anyone that our age that owns a house that did not get help from their parents? Like, there's no jobs. All the listings are fake. Jobs don't even offer healthcare. So then you're on Medicaid, you get kicked off because of the big beautiful bill that just got passed. The American dream is dead. And then they tell you you're not working hard enough. Like, make it make sense to me. So props to this creator for just verbalizing that, because I empathize 100%. You're not...
The American dream is just that. It's a dream. It's not attainable for me. It's not attainable, I don't think, for many millennials. My sister is on that cusp of Gen Z millennial, and like, it's gone for her completely. Her goal is to own a home, and it was to own a home 5 years ago.
I feel like we're going to be 50 by the time we buy a house, if this is the trajectory that we keep going on.
If we could buy a house, let's say we're in our budget close to the areas and where we want to live, like it's like a 1-bedroom, like 560 square feet. I can't get away from anybody in 560 square feet, you know?
Housing affordability hit a new low in 2023. Mortgage rates hit a nearly 23-year high.
I got to 25 and I had started my nursing career, and it was like, how did you buy a house? Because I just got out of nursing school and college just costed like $100,000. It just seems like the way things have gone the last, I don't know, 30 years have changed so much from when my parents did all of this.
I feel as if I get luxury goods, not as much as before. So we try to, I guess, tame our expenses in regards to that and just stick to like things that we need rather than things that we don't, like, you know, clothing, food. But like, I don't know, cars or houses is something that's not attainable for us, nor daycare. Honestly, I can't stretch that far.
When we first started looking at daycare, it literally changed the topic of, we want to have a second child maybe in a year, to we can afford to have a second child in maybe 3 years with the cost of daycare.
The average daycare cost is $321 per week. The average nanny cost is $766 per week.
5 generations of my family have been in California, and I'm the first generation that has not been able to buy a house by like 25. I'm the first generation who also didn't have a baby until I was 30 because it seemed financially unattainable until that point.
Our son is 2. We're okay right now. But if we add another child to the mix, whether that's fostering or having one of our own, can we give them the same, I guess, love and attention and, you know, I guess, luxury goods that he or she would need? And we can't answer that question.
My husband and I spend a lot of time stressed and worried about making sure we're making ends meet. And we've already spent a lot of time recognizing that, like, what I had growing up, because my parents could afford it, like I won't be able to give as much to my son as that I had growing up, because we're just in a completely different state.
It seems impossible to get any of our financial goals like checked off our list.
Let's just say the quiet part out loud. I think everybody at this point is just surviving. Every week I go to the grocery store, the amount of money that I spend is insane. I feel bad for folks that can't go into houses because it is not affordable anymore for folks. Luckily for me, I've been able to own 2 houses. I feel bad for younger kids that their parents don't have the money, or they didn't get any type of financial backing for college because college is not affordable. We got to really look at the system that's going on right now. You have an average American that's barely surviving. I'm at the gym right now, and I passed a food line. Say this out loud. We have a food line in the United States of America for people who can't get food. The United States of America is not a third world country. It is the most wealthiest country there is. But we have people that have to go in food lines to get food. Just think about that for a moment. The United States of America. Folks, the system is broken. Whether you like it or not, it is what it is. At some point, as a country, somebody got to stand up and say, enough is enough. We got to support each other. Hopefully this was helpful to somebody. Chris with the gems.
The average Gen Zer says they'll need more than $500,000 a year to feel successful.
I don't think our generation can budget their way out of this.
With young adults hitting major life milestones like marriage and financial independence later in life, there's anxiety over whether the American dream is achievable for them.
Do you feel like hard work pays off now? It's like really hard to say.
Our generation is starting behind, loaded with student loans, higher interest rates, housing costs exploding.
Finding a spot to rent in the city is hard, and with mortgage rates going up again, buying a home seems out of reach. A survey published last year showed nearly a third of Gen Z adults, under 26 at the time, still lived with their parents.
I'll walk past like a real estate place and just see listings, and I'm just like, that's an amount of money that just seems like I can't even imagine. It feels kind of insurmountable.
Every time I get paid, it's either my car payment I have to pay in car insurance, and then on top of that, phone bill. So it's like so much at once hitting me, and then my credit card that I have to pay off.
I think there's an assumption that Gen Z is ungrateful, difficult to work with, expecting things that we don't deserve, and the reality is much of our generation is working really hard.
They still have some hope in the American dream.
I know that this is a country where people can achieve their dreams. It's just getting harder and harder to do that.
I haven't noticed the American dream is pretty much dead in America, and it's because wages have not kept up with inflation. Let's take a firefighter, for example. In 2011, they made $45,000 a year on average. Now the average salary for a firefighter is $53,000 in California, which, let's be real, in California, that's not gonna go very far. So that is a 17% increase, which sounds pretty good, but when you look at the inflated costs of everything in the past 13 years, it's really bad. The buying power has gone down dramatically. Housing is just one example. If you wanna buy a house, this is $1.3 million today. 10 years ago, this house was valued at $670,000, so it has doubled in 10 years. Wages have not doubled. Definitely not for any essential job, and not for most 9-to-5 jobs. In 2024, I think the only way to have a shot at achieving the American dream is owning your own business, or we are also seeing a lot of people leave the US and achieve it elsewhere. I made a full 30-minute video on YouTube about this, so if you want to know the reality of the American dream today, go check it out.
Bitch, we're gonna work until we die. The American dream is absolutely DEAD, ho. That bitch died. That bitch is deceased. That bitch fucking funeral viewing was like 2 years ago. 8 years ago, 2016, 2008, 2000, when Obama was president. That shit just died. I miss Obama. I miss being a kid. Like, this is just gonna sound so but I did not realize that when I was a beautiful little young child, and I thought the world was peach and rainbows, that when it was gonna be my turn, I'm 27 years young, baby, about to be 28, that when it was gonna be my turn, it was gonna be ass for me. The economy was gonna be cheeks, and our little America is gonna be run by somebody who can't even put into words, ain't got nothing nice to say, not gonna say anything at all. And that if I wanted to have, this is the one that really pisses me off. I want to have kids, right? Maybe later. Maybe when I'm like 31, 32. Not anymore. Not until this fool's out of office. Not until my kids can get vaccinated. Not until my future kids can go to school without there being like a shooting or something like that. Like, shit's cooked. My future that I thought I was gonna have as a child is literally cooked cheese fried. I'm about to make $19 an hour. Woo, new job with benefits. Really exciting. 19 isn't good enough. This just not gonna cut it. I'm still gonna be struggling as much as I was in my old job, making $17 an hour. Helping animals. Fucking anesthetizing pets. Doing x-rays on your pets. Doing blood draws on your pets. Being a veterinary assistant, veterinary technician. Hard work, $0. Zero. Zippo zilch. And then healthcare, excited about that. But then the American healthcare system's fucking ass cheeks. You're gonna be taking out so much money in my paycheck. Got my tax return, had to pay somebody a little bit off my tax return because they barely helped me doing my taxes. I'm just so confused. This is not what I thought was gonna happen when I grew up and really wanted to be an adult. Oh, I can't wait to be an adult. No!
Well, the American dream is officially dead. According to a new study, it takes a whopping $3.4 million of lifetime earnings to afford the American dream, when the average American only earns anywhere from $1.7 to $2.3 million over a lifetime, leaving over $1 million gap. It's a shame that what this country once stood for is becoming harder and harder to achieve for the average American. And you and I both know why that's happening. Housing unaffordability is through the roof, and prices of everything have skyrocketed when wages have not kept up. Now, I want to hear your number. Is it more or is it less? I think for most people, $3.4 million is probably right on the mark when you include that house, when you include kids, when you include cars, and when you include health insurance, which is a damn shame. And the only way that this is going to change is if wages catch up and outpace inflation for a significant amount of time. And I have no idea if that's going to happen in the current economic climate. If you like personal finance and world economics, you're in the right place, and I hope to see you in the next video and then in the next discussion.